the other one, No Organized Chaos.
Actual fandom?
Here's the thing. Okay.
I vaguely know who actual fandom is.
Hey, motherfuckers.
The journey that we choose as fans. You know, everything's just not always going to be great. And when it's great, you got to celebrate the hell out of it. But when it's not, you just move on to some other shit. It's like the easiest thing in the world.
Hey, where are all my comic books?
I have nothing left except Spider-Man.
So we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
You want to see what Spider-Man #1 looks like?
I believe comics are a last link to an ancient way of passing on history.
The thing, is this dork made of orange rock like the rest of his body?
Here's the thing.
I'm looking for a Batman #14. That's a very serious book.
I believe comics are a form of history that someone, somewhere felt or experienced.
How do I know that it's not a cheap reprint?
Better not be jacking off to the Japanese comics, I swear to God.
It's a superhero secret.
It's impossible. Lois could never have Superman's baby.
Can't pick a Superman #77 with the 200s.
I guarantee he blows a load like a shot right through the back.
They haven't even discovered where kryptonite yet.
His Kryptonian biological makeup is enhanced by Earth's yellow sun. If Lois gets a tan, the kid can kick right through her stomach.
Then, of course, those experiences and that history got chewed up in the commercial machine, got jazzed up, made titillating cartoons for the sale rack.
You know they're all bullshit, right?
Trust me, true believer.
Hello. Hello and welcome. Happy New Year. I know that some of you are already in 2024. So congratulations. What's the future like? Pretty cool, or does it suck still? Yeah. Let me get this out of here. Get that shit out of here. Hi. Well, yeah, this is kind of impromptu. In case you can't tell, maybe you've been able to tell the last couple of streams that I've been kind of sick. My voice has been shitty. My nose has been stopped up. I've been feeling like a piece of shit generally. Physically, spiritually, I am strong. Yeah, depends on the day, really, honestly. We got Daniel Masterpiece. Whoa. It's just YouTube content, buddy. I appreciate the enthusiasm, but it is just YouTube content. You want to talk about Masterpiece? As far as supernatural Old West comic books go, this guy, he's got a masterpiece. Turn of Jake Sunrise. I'd say it's the best one of those I've ever read in comic book. For sure. 100%. All right. So yeah, figure just go live and say Happy New Year. Let you guys know. Whoa, Tokyo. I thought Julian Floyd seemed like a Japanese name. But no, Happy New Year, man. Yeah, I was just kind of bored. I've been sick and I haven't felt great the last couple of days, especially. But today I was like, or earlier I was like, you know what? I could go live and say Happy New Year and say fuck it. There's might be some people that are just kind of sitting around looking for something to listen to. And so far I was right. There's 5 of you. And that's a-okay. That's enough for me. As long as one of you is enjoying it, even though there's like statistically, there's probably at least one of those 5. Oh, 6. Whoa. Slow down there. That they're hate watching. But we welcome them too. In fact, chat is open. Chat's open to everybody right now. Normally I keep it kind of limited. I didn't even have time to set that shit before the stream. So like if you're a chud and you're just always looking for your opportunity to talk shit, there you go, man. Julia, Happy New Year to you. Mikey. This is what I do like about whenever there's only a few people, is I get to say hi to everybody. The future, what's it like? Yeah, so in case you have missed me discussing it so far, 2024, we're getting into some deep snit. Okay, it's thinking about changing the name from the Year of Bub to the Year of Deep Snit. I don't know. I just think it's pretty fun. 2024 is the 50th anniversary of one James Howlett, aka Logan, aka Weapon X, aka Wolverine, aka Patch, aka the old Knucklehead. I could go on. I mean, you got to think whenever you first discovered that was something you could say, like, oh, it's pretty entertaining, right? Like, you're like, oh my god, it's next year. See you next year. Ha ha ha. Kids discovering jokes that will eventually be completely played out. I don't know. There's some fun innocence to that. My partner's 8-year-old. He's been doing D's nuts lately, which maybe 8 years old is too young for D's nuts, but he certainly laughs his ass off when he says it. So I guess that's all that matters. He knows not to say it at school to like a teacher or anything like that. He knows that it's not an appropriate thing to say, and that it's really just a privileged thing that he can say when appropriate at home. And he doesn't say it all the time. He actually chooses very tasteful moments to say that, believe it or not. Yeah, what's up with Patch, man? Like, for real, like, you're talking about Wolverine, and he's going to Madripoor, right? Whenever he's Patch, he's in Madripoor. And you got to think that every fucking dude in Madripoor knows who Wolverine is. They all know what Wolverine looks like, right? Um, you're gonna tell me that he just puts an eye patch on and it's like, oh, man, if it wasn't for that eye patch, you'd look exactly like Wolverine. See, look, I'm a huge fan of Wolverine, and I'm gonna be making some jokes about him as well because I love the character. I recognize the absurdity in some aspects of the character, and I recognize the beauty in some of his character. That's true. That's true. Recently in the comics, the most recent patch appearance wasn't really him, but it was kind of. So I yeah, so it was in if you have you paid attention at all, for a while there, Beast has been doing some naughty shit. Beast got off a little bit too far off the deep end with his power as basically the CIA director of Krakoa. And he did some crazy shit, man. Like he created a bunch of clones of himself and a bunch of clones of Wolverine. Uh, and the Wolverine clones, they were all pretty dumb. They were not like smart enough to do anything independent. So like they all followed Beast's orders. So that was kind of crazy that whenever Wolverine had to eventually take out Beast, which he still never did, Beast kept getting away. That's supposed to be resolved pretty soon, I think. But nonetheless, um, whenever Wolverine finally busted up Beast's operation in the uh, um, in X-Force comics, Beast got away, and then they killed most of the Wolverine clones, but not all of them. One of the Wolverine clones they recently found was he was he basically went to Madripoor and just was like pretending to be Patch, or thought he was took on the persona of Patch, which is kind of crazy, but fun. We love that shit. Yeah, I mean, look, Patch and Joe Fixit. Like, I want that combo in a movie or something so fucking bad, I can taste it. Can you imagine? Just like, I don't know, probably not a movie, but maybe like a limited TV series, miniseries or something on show, like where it's just I would be that clone. What a seedy bar. Like he was basically, I think he was dealing at a blackjack table or some shit was what he was doing in Madripoor. J-Day, Happy New Year. Yeah, you don't even need a whole lot of action, right? Like, I don't feel like you'd need a whole lot of action for that. Yeah, sure, you have a couple of moments here and there, but like, just to generally focused on the character and like why they do this, Joe Fixit and Patch, and like they're kind of doing this escape from, everyday life kind of thing. Oh man, that'd be great. Anyway, so 2024, like I said, like I was saying before I got distracted by myself. Um, let's see. I know I got a graphic here somewhere. We just pull that up. Man, who caught that conversation with Blurred and Bob, Organized Chaos, and then like Eric's Reloaded was there a little bit too. The other day. That was freaking great. Love that shit. Love talking to Ernie. It's been a couple of years. I hope we're able to talk again soonish, because he's a great dude. Here we go. So yeah, 50 years, man. You know, there's not like I don't know if there are any characters like, I would say that Wolverine is as famous and as popular generally as, like, you know, Spider-Man. You know, I mean, probably not as, but, like, almost, wouldn't you guys say? Like, he's up there with, Spider-Man, fucking Batman, right? Is that crazy to say? Because how many other characters that really didn't debut until the mid-70s have gone on to be as successful as Wolverine? Not Mickey Mouse, it's, Steamboat Willie is now public domain. But, like, for real, there's it's unprecedented. The way the trajectory of Wolverine's, kinda character, right? Like, first of all, another thing that makes him unique from all the other characters that he's as popular yeah, I'd say that's right. Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, then Wolverine. But one thing that makes him unique is I mean, a lot of things, but, he did not debut as all those other characters, they were like, "Here's your" maybe not Spider-Man, but to a degree Spider-Man. It's like the idea right out of the gate was, "This is a leading character. This is a character that's gonna be the one of the big superheroes," right? Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, they were all like, "Here you go. Fucking brand new, up front. You're gonna love this guy. He's the new thing." Whereas Wolverine didn't debut like that. He was just, like, kinda thrown into, they needed something cool for the Hulk to fight. And, that's how it happened, and then even still, he didn't come back around for what, another year or so, and then they ended up putting him in, Giant Size X-Men. Uh, yeah, I've always thought of, Patch as Matches Malone, basically, like, it's the same kinda thing, right? Man, I was reading that Batman comic, the story, Fear State not long ago, and he tries to do that Matches Malone shit with the Unsanity Collective, right? Like, he kinda goes through his whole thing where he gets into this identity and stuff, and he's like, "I gotta join the Unsanity Collective and see what they're about." And then basically, as soon as he gets in there, Miracle Molly's like, "Yeah, this is a bullshit front. You're a billionaire." She like spots him first for a billionaire. Um, is that right? I mean, if they did that, then of course that would yeah, that makes perfect sense. I never did read the amalgam stuff really. Maybe like one issue of each or a few different titles, but that was more like just a novelty thing to me. I didn't really give a shit about the story of those characters. Excuse me. You would be right about Kitty Pride. For one thing, if her name was still Kitty Pride, but it's not. She goes by Kate now, Julia. And she is not a Robin. She is a straight up, she's a Wolverine, dude. Like, she's basically a Wolverine now. Do I need to show you the pages? She's going by Shadowcat again. And honestly, it's the first time she's ever earned the name Shadowcat. It's the first time the name has ever accurately, reflected what she's about. No. Anyway, so yeah, you guys probably know that I had that video essay that I talked up big time and even showed some stuff from and whatnot, and was like, "Oh, I'm working on it." And then other stuff happened because the thing with that essay is that I want it to be like the best video I've ever made, and maybe that's a little bit silly. Maybe that's putting a little bit too much pressure on myself, but I do want it to be great. Uh, as much as I haven't talked about Wolverine a lot on the channel. the most I've really done is made a song, took that song that Ethan had, and Ethan Van Sciver and made it better about him being gay. And you might have thought from that that, oh, he doesn't like Wolverine or something, or that he's, that like you might not have thought that I had a lot of respect for. No, I fucking love Wolverine, dude. Like, I fucking love Wolverine. There's a lot of characters that I love. And some of them on some days I might relate to more than Wolverine, but generally, overall, and for the longest amount of time, the character that I feel like I connect with the most, that I get the most, and then as I'll talk about in that essay once it's out, in some kind of interesting ways, I think, have some stuff in common with. In fact, I've killed a lot of people now. Yeah. But the interesting thing. Give me 1 second. I gotta blow my nose. I'm sorry. The thing about Wolverine that really popped into my brain, like last year sometime, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's incredible," is he's one of like just a few, very, very few, a handful of characters, superhero characters, mainstream comic book superheroes who have actually grown and evolved and maintained that growth. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't happen often. It's you think about Spider-Man. Love Peter Parker, love Spider-Man, but like he's kind of in a permanent holding pattern generally because like you can't have Spider-Man, it's actually a big point of contention among Spider fans of a lot of people want him to be, older and married and stuff, which is why they're doing that Ultimate Spider-Man version that's like that. Um but and then a lot of people, well, I guess maybe it's mostly fans just want him to be older and married, but those are fans that are like my age who grew up with him older and married and to Mary Jane and stuff, and like that's what they know and that's what they want. And a lot of them are older and married, so that's like that reflects them more. But like I'm still a staunch advocate for keeping Peter Parker relatively young, relatively loosely, kind of a free agent because I believe that it's good for kids to have that Peter Parker there, that Spider-Man. Maybe they figure something out and they do something with Miles where they like make Miles the younger version and have Peter grow up to go on to be like he's able to age and be older and if they do something like that, sure. But I just think there needs to be a mainstream Spider-Man that is able to connect with the kiddies. Because man, Spider-Man's awesome. But Wolverine has actually he's from the time that he joined the X-Men, pretty quickly after that, Professor X was making some comments about him maybe being a teacher or a mentor or something like that, which at the time, Wolverine and everybody else around was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, but Professor X being the invasive psychic that he is, he must have seen something in there that, with Wolverine, he was like, well, once you get past all this layer of lots of layers of just violent, crazy nonsense in this guy, there's something else there. And and then you look and as of a few years ago, look, there was a lot of dark, stupid, bad stuff about the last 10 years prior to Krakoa era of X-Men. A lot of really bad circumstances about the mutants and what they were going through. One of, if not the best thing about it, is that Wolverine became the headmaster of the Jean Grey Institute of Higher Learning. Like he reopened the school. People get mad about the direction Cyclops took. I'm not happy about him being that, but like at the same time, just the fact that him and Wolverine kind of crossed over each other going in opposite directions is pretty fucking cool. I think that's really well done, kind of long form storytelling. Anyway, so check this out. I just made this today. Here you go. Ooh, he dancing. He dancing. He dancing. He dancing. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, he does have that Tool sound because it is specifically a song that is designed to sound like Tool. And I need to promote this guy more often because if you ever notice that I've got those few kind of instrumental rock songs that I have that I use, all of those I own the rights to because I purchased them from a guy named Jacob Lazat. And let me pull up his channel because if you ever just need any, kind of, if you ever need to own an instrumental rock song and it actually be quality for some reason, this would be a good one. I don't know of anybody else that does it as well as him, honestly. And he does all sorts of subgenres, styles. Jacob Lazat. He's putting out like basically a new one every freaking day or so. I don't know, every week, I guess. You got royalty-free 80s metal instrumental, royalty-free jolly metal instrumental, royalty-free rock instrumental, doom style metal instrumental, new metal. Yikes. All sorts of shit. The one that one is called Effigy. If you know your Tool songs, you might recognize that that's similar to Eulogy. And it's actually listed somewhere of like, it specifically says Tool style rock instrumental or whatever. I own the rights to this one forever. It's a good song. Yeah, I like rock music, and I kind of got to the point where I was like tired of scouring YouTube for the few and far between decent tracks that they have that they'll let you use. Yeah, and so I've said, you know what, fuck this, and I've it's like $20 to buy for the rights to use those songs, and it's well worth it in my opinion. I've gotten some good use out of them, and yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that video essay will be coming. I'm not going to give a specific date on it. It's one thing I'm learning to do, finally learning to apply, rather. I've learned it a long time ago, is I'm going to stop giving specific dates on when I'm going to upload a thing or like how long, you know what I mean? Because every time I do that, I fuck myself. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm going to have this video up on Friday. It's like Monday before I get the video. Every time that I'm like, oh, I'm working on this video essay. I think I'll have it done in 2 weeks. A month later. So yeah, not going to do that anymore, but you'll know when it comes out. Be sure to subscribe if you're not. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I'm committing to this, by the way. Like I'm committed. If you look at my channel, I'm all in on this shit. Oh yeah. Another thing we need to talk about here. Does anybody know who this artist is? Can you recognize that? What that's from? Who that is? What's the oldest one I own? I don't actually know. I mean, if you're talking about like actual issue, like the original issue, I don't know. I mean, I own his first appearance, and I own his Giant Size X-Men stuff. And I own, you know, yeah, I really don't know what it would be if you're talking about like actual. Yep, astonishing X-Men artist, exactly. Which brings us to something kind of wild here. Okay, so if you're familiar at all with astonishing X-Men, but John Cassaday in general, this is a really actually kind of famous cover from the Astonishing run. So they're literally reading an X-Men comic from the run. It's also controversial because Cyclops seems to be heating it on fire, which is not what his powers do, unless you trust Gail Simone when she's trolling people on the internet. But that's not what his powers are. Still interesting. Generally, the guy is, known to be iconic and awesome. Now, let me pull up another here just to. Well, shit. Well, okay, I'll just get right to the point. So that's John Cassaday. And then so is this. This is for X-Force number 50, upcoming comic. This is from the Marvel Solicits. And this is a John Cassaday cover with Wolverine and Beast. Go ahead and take a minute to take it in. Get a little closer. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is not very good at all. Yeah. This looks like it's not just awful in comparison. It's just bad, man. Like I'm honestly stunned that, Dean said stunning. Yeah, it is stunning. It's stunning that Marvel is actually fucking publishing this. It's stunning that this is the same guy. It's and I'm being really careful here without I don't want to just completely trash it or anything because I'm not meaning this in any kind of fucking terrible, shitty way where I'm just trying to insult him or something, but I'm wondering if he is okay. This is or the two possibilities, I guess, maybe that me and Dean were discussing earlier is did he have something? Did he have a stroke or something like that? That's one of my theories. The other one is and this is what I hope it would be or something, but that maybe he's just making a statement about the pay that creators get from Marvel. And if that's it, then okay, cool. This is actually a fucking awesome cover. That's really the only context that this would be a good cover. Is if he had done it to protest and just here, fuck you, Marvel, and they're still publishing it, whatever. You don't have this issue because it's not out yet, Julia. Yeah, the perspective's all wrong. So the thing that he's got wrong here is called foreshortening. That's something I learned from Sketchy Got Hands. That term. So he's got his arm extended toward us, And there's a way to draw that. Like it's one of the many things that you need to be pretty decent at to be a good artist is perspective. And this is just all wrong. It's like it almost looks like an abandonment of skill, like an intentional abandon. Like, see, I would think that the problem is though. Oopsie, this is not the only one lately. It's not the only one. Let me pull up this other one here. I mean, yeah, but like, still, I don't know. I just don't because it seems like this is kind of a thing lately with him. So here is a Doctor Strange cover from not long ago. Doctor Strange and Planet of the Apes for some reason. And what's weird is that like the detail, like the shading, kind of like how the clothes are the crumpled and stuff like that. That all still looks good. Like he still knows what he's doing there. But even this one, the foreshortening is better. He's got his arm extended towards us, the same as Wolverine to a degree, not as the same angle, but But this is actually somewhat better. Yes, it is the official art. Yeah. And I just don't know. Like I was checking out his Twitter and stuff earlier. He hasn't posted since like May or some shit. Um Like, yeah, look, you can just like search his name on Twitter and see a whole lot of posts of just like some of his work where it's just like, holy shit, he's great. Look, that's a classic, iconic Wolverine. Look at that squat look he's got going on there, the detail and stuff. Um, Here is kind of an older X-Men roster, still looking pretty good. There's Batman and Robin, minimalistic there. And then, so this is a not. Oh yeah, this is a new one as well. I think. No, no. This is from pretty recently, and it's not. Okay, I changed my mind. It is kind of bad. Like it's almost like he just more than anything he forgot how to draw Wolverine or something. Because everything else here looks kind of okay. Kind of. And until you get in close. These are not like this is like what you'd expect of. Okay, so this is like what it is when whenever a kid in middle school decides I'm going to be a comic book artist and I'm going to be really good at it, and then they start putting it in a whole lot of hours into drawing, and like this is how good they get within a few months kind of thing. Where it's like they have a lot of potential and they should keep working on it because they might make it one day. Like that's how this quality is. Not necessarily Scott here. Scott looks okay, but there's also not a lot of them showing. But then like you look at Kitty Pryde's hands, like her fist there. That's amateur fist, man. Amateur fist. But then look at Wolverine. Holy shit. What's going on with his legs? His arm? His claws, like... Okay, so to compare, here's this, honestly kind of masterpiece. Like, this is a fucking terrific cover. Yeah, they do. They look like somebody. It looks like he he drew it on his phone, or it looks like he said he told his 12-year-old kid to draw it, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, look at this person. Oh, this seems the franchise has gone off the rails ever since. Why are you putting franchise in quotes, dude? It is a franchise. Um, but also it went off the rails for a while, and now it's made its whole new track, and it's been on that track for several years now. Anyway, I'm gonna stop looking at stupid people's opinions here. Planetary. He also did Planetary. Very good work that he did there. Okay, so maybe starting to see some of it here. I don't know. Spider-Man looks a little squat. It's a cool Wolverine. I love that shit. Okay, so comic tropes talked about this at some point, December 11th. I am curious what he says about it. You guys mind if we check that out? Yeah. Whoops. Whoopsie doo. Okay, so I'm looking through I'm looking through his stream here, the chapter markers, and I don't see that he actually ended up talking about John Cassidy. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Okay.
I have like a news article per se, but John Cassidy's art got shared on social media.
You guys hear it okay?
And I was definitely one of the people that...
You guys hear that?
was sharing it early on, because I came across all the way on the right here I saw this shared by somebody that was showing previews catalog pages. And I saw this and I was like, is that one of those new Frank Miller pieces? And I look at it and no, it's an upcoming variant cover for X-Force done by John Cassaday. Well, I love John Cassaday's.
Yeah, so like I keep seeing Frank Miller stuff being mentioned in this conversation. It's like I get why that would be, but like look, even okay, talking about like Frank Miller's The Dark Knight 3 cover art. That shit is bad. It is not good. It's bad. But I at least can see that he was going for a stylistic thing, right? I think it was a big swing and a miss, but I see this stylistic, kind of nature of what he was going for. This doesn't seem to have any that. It doesn't seem to even have I don't know. Seems different.
His work. I've made episodes about Planetary, and while I wouldn't be talking up Joss Whedon today, I liked Astonishing X-Men when it was coming out. And a big part of it was honestly because of John Cassaday's art. I liked when when Marvel and Disney got the Star Wars rights, they launched out with Jason Aaron and John Cassaday, and the first 6 issues of Star Wars just sold like gangbusters. And I'm looking at this piece of art and I go like, this does not look like John Cassaday to me. But there it is in previews, like explicitly saying it's John Cassaday. And there's his signature down here, right? So that's backing it up too. It's not like somebody just shared it online. No, this came from previews. You could go to any of the catalogs where you can order it. And this is the image you will see. Over here on the left is something like that he did with X-Men. He's got a pretty realistic style. But then I started looking, I was like, was there a change? Because he hasn't been doing interiors for like, I don't know, 8, 9 years. He hasn't really done interiors. He's just done a few variant covers. I was like, what have I seen lately? So I look and I've got like this Doctor Strange / Planet of the Apes crossover cover. It was just to promote the Planet of the Apes. It's a variant cover. And I go, oh yeah, that does look like how he, would sometimes draw eyes on like aliens and stuff. And I was like, that's clearly the same way that he drew Beast's eye here. And then I looked at this recent one. This was done for DC for that recent book, The Outsiders. And look at the perspective on this. I don't mind like the warping too much, but follow this line and it curves back up. Like this top part of the building, he clearly didn't like map out any sort of perspective grid. This is all like freehanded. The character kind of okay, but then he really covers a lot of her body with like this cheat and then just has these vague sort of shadows here. And I'm seeing all this and I'm going like, what am I seeing? What am it's very confusing. And I'm going, okay, still this all the way on the right, in my opinion, is worse than these two. There seems they're of a kind. And I go, okay, so that's John Cassaday. I misspelled John Cassaday's name in the title. Okay, I can edit that.
Okay, he doesn't seem to. I thought maybe he would have some kind of insight because he's comic tropes and he has insight on comics.
Thanks.
But I guess that's normally his scripted videos that I'm thinking of and not his live streams.
Oh, the stream must be. Okay, I can edit that later. Yeah, I've heard. I saw people saying like it can't be Cassaday. It's got to just be a sketch. It's got to be AI. People were just like, this can't be right. But I think it is. I do think it's him. There's a small possibility that maybe he did a sketch and then somebody professionally colored over a really loose sketch just to get this in the previews catalog. The catalog
that would be like the most. It's still a far off possibility, but something like that. That there's just like a rushed thing. Like maybe he didn't have the cover ready for the previews to go out. That could be it, right? Like they were like, "Hey, Cassidy, we need that cover so we can get it out in the solicits." And he's like, "Oh shit, all right, So maybe whenever the comic actually comes out, it'll be what it should be." But yeah. Anyway, that's a really, really good one. It's one of the many highlights of Krakoa. The only thing I would say is that that's where it became clear that they weren't going to try to fix Moira. They weren't going to try to fix, the situation, the narrative that they created with Moira. In fact, that's where they like hit the gas and drove Moira's character into a fucking flaming, burning pile of shit, in my opinion. Moira is the big stain on the Krakoan era, and that sucks because she's the one that started it out. She's the one that, without her and that brilliant retcon by Hickman. None of it would be possible. And what they decided to do with that was make her a kind of a one-note villain and a robot. Yeah, like what were they thinking? It's like they didn't know what to do, and so they said villain. It's like, dude, I'd rather her be stuck being a non-entity in the dark place and Moira's no place or whatever for longer until you figure out what to do with her. Keep her there. Like all the stuff was Sinister and then stuff like all the Moira clones that he used and stuff. That's all great. They could have still found a way to do that without having her character be involved at all, like her real character. Yeah, I will say that the Inferno was a bit of a letdown. This version of Inferno. I mean, it was important because all of the progress they've made with Destiny and Mystique and their relationship has been good and welcome. But yeah, we talked about it toward the beginning of the stream on Friday. We can talk about it again, I suppose. Yeah. Dude, Eric July is such a fucking moron that he thinks that people aren't going to notice that whenever he's he tried to fund that guy's project who was criticizing him or whatever and said, "Oh, your attitude's negative. I don't even want your product. I just funded your product for you, your book for you." Well, first of all, he didn't fund his book. His book had been funded for a while. He just, he went to the website, which was it was just a storefront, not a campaign. And he thought he funded it or whatever, but then, and it was like, and the guy sent him his money back for one thing. He didn't take his money. And he was just like trying to flex to promote himself. And it's like, he thinks, and I know he does have an audience and they think they are that stupid, I guess. But like most people are going to see that and see what the fuck he was doing. I don't know. I kind of liked it. I mean, it was. Look, I will say this: Joss Whedon definitely had a couple of moments that are just like, "Whoa, you were going for like the crazy action movie moment right there." Professor X driving a semi truck into danger is both stupid and awesome. It's just one of those things that's, I don't know. It's really, really dumb, but it's also really, really awesome. That's what it is. But Bleeding Cool is actually talking about this John Cassidy thing, by the way. They didn't have any answers either. And this is, has been around for a couple of weeks now. So, by the way, Happy New Year to anybody that's it's already your new year. Fucking cool. It's gonna be a good year. I hope. I'm gonna work towards it. As far as content goes, well, we'll get to that in a bit. I'm all over the place here because I'm sick and I can't focus. My head's all cloudy and shit. So I apologize. All right. So what they're doing for Wolverine in the 50th anniversary year in the comic book sense is pretty cool. I'd like to look at this with you, if you don't mind. So they're going to be doing a bunch of tribute homage covers to famous Marvel comics with Wolverine in them. I mean, with Wolverine in place of whatever characters there were originally. So, look, this is just the way that everybody's going to start talking with James Howlett, Logan, Weapon X, Patch, the old Knucklehead. You know, for 50 years, Wolverine has been the best there is at what he does. And in 2024, Marvel Comics marks 5 decades of the X-Men's most ferocious mutant with the new Wolverine variant cover series. Okay. You say it 3 times, he comes out and stabs you in the head. Covers start rolling out January 3rd. Will adorn issues of such titles: Amazing Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man, Avengers, more. Cool. Francis Yu, Dan Jurgens, hell yeah. Clayton Crane, Todd Knock, Kevin Eastman. Oh shit. They got some hitters for these covers, man. Okay. So here's what these variants are going to be doing. They look pretty cool. If I can actually scroll properly. So yeah, there you go. Tribute cover. Got an Infinity Gauntlet. Has it just not loaded all these yet? Is that what's going on? Or no? Okay. Pretty nifty. It's Todd Knock there. Oh, there's this the first appearance of Vision, but it's Albert. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Who's familiar with Albert? Like, I feel like Albert's kind of a deep cut. I was really surprised to see him come back in Dark X-Men. Like the fact that Albert showed back up again ever, and what's her name? Is it LCQ or something like that? Just kind of a really deep cut of Wolverine lore. You know, just some of the crazy shenanigans. Yeah, the cyborg. Pete Woods. This one is that's fucking great. That's great. LCD, that's what it is. Thank you. He's not a clone. He's a cyborg. He's a robot, isn't he? Yeah, he's a robot. Made by Donald P. Okay, so yeah, that was the connection there. So it's a bit of a hybrid situation. So yeah, in the movie it was a clone, but originally Albert was a robot. Bzz. This is great. Fucking love this shit. Speaking of which, we got Sabretooth War. It's about to pop off. Holy shit, man. Okay, so we talked about this with Ernie Blurred Without Fear the other day, but for those that aren't aware, Wolverine's birthday in canon has been marked historically by Sabretooth showing up to beat the shit out of him. That's, you know, like, I think the first couple times Wolverine didn't even know it was his birthday. Like Sabretooth just shows up, happy birthday, runt, fuck, kicks his ass. That's how Sabretooth shows his love. Or he would like show up, he would like kill somebody that Wolverine cared about, that kind of thing. Well, Wolverine and Sabretooth have not met in comics since it's been like 5 years that they have not interacted at all. They're about to, big time, because Sabretooth War is about to pop off. It's going to be several issues. I'm pretty sure that what's happening is Sabretooth is going to have some clones of himself. There's going to be like an army of Sabretooths. That's going to be cool. Oh, shit. Look at this one. Iron Man. Isn't that what that is? It's from Iron Man, yeah. I don't know what this is. What is that? Can anybody point that out to me? Captain America number 100? Oh, no, that's what this was? I do not recognize this at all. That is awesome. Right there. Fucking awesome. You got Fantastic Four. You got Patch. You got Noseless Bone Claw Savage Wolverine there. And then you got Wolverine. And by the way, yes, I know that Wolverine is no longer just the one person. I am going to be talking a good bit about the other Wolverine. And you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fun. Because I had somebody be like, "Oh, you're going to talk about the guy. You're not going to talk about fuck off. I'm going to talk about all of it." It's a year of content, and so you might wonder how much does that content is that? Are you going to be doing nothing but content about Wolverine? No, I'm not doing that. Basically, anytime I have an idea to talk about Wolverine, I'm going to fire up the camera and record it. Anytime I read a Wolverine story that I think is really cool, or even if it just has like a cool moment, I'm going to talk about it. I'm probably going to upload lots of shorts, you know, or at least shorter videos. And then one thing that I really hope you guys will check out, if you're not someone who follows the Forced Diversity podcast on Sundays, you might want to. Yeah, I mean, she does Forevermore as far as I think. You know, I'm like, she's just Wolverine now. They both are. So on Sundays on the Forced Diversity podcast, what we're going to do is, you know, there's 50 years of history, Wolverine, and there's, 52 weeks in a year. We probably won't do full 52 episodes, but that's the idea, generally around there. So each week on Sunday on the Fabcast, we'll do like a 15-minute segment, maybe 20, who knows, where we look at a year in Wolverine's canon and publication history. So like the first one, which will be tomorrow, by the way, we're doing a FAP tomorrow on the Y2K panic. You should be there. Or if it's already midnight for you, then it's today. But doing a FAP in the Y2K, and then we will talk about the introduction of Wolverine, how he came to be. What happened in this first appearance. Some of you probably already know that well. Some of you might not. We're going to talk about that. And then the next week, we'll talk about the next time that Wolverine showed up. And then like, how was he received? Why did they decide to use him again? And so on and so, that type of thing. And we'll just do that every week on the Fapcast. Is another week of or another year of Wolverine, right? Cool. Yeah, that's one of those ones where it's like, really? He was an Iron Fist villain? Okay. All right. Here's this one. I don't recognize what that would be a reference to. He looks like he's taking a shit. It's like, you gotta grunt that one out. Oh, you might be right. Might be Beta Ray Bill. Yeah. No, this is definitely a Spider-Man. I absolutely am. That is one of the many things that I'm excited for. And I don't know if it's going to be this year, but hopefully it will be. What's Sabretooth and his multiverse variants? Oh, the Exiles. Got you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it all depends on how it's done. This is another great Spider-Man one. I just love the idea of Wolverine posing like this. We'll talk about it tomorrow, for sure. I think it's ER. Yeah. I love the snit, snit, snit. If I was going to get like a poster of one of these, it would be this one probably. 'Cause that's pretty rad. Spider-Boy number 3. They're going to make me get Spider-Boy number 3. Jesus. Dan Jurgens right there. Holy shit. I love that End of Time Wolverine keeps showing up, Phoenix Wolverine, which I suppose will probably be like you know, the last time that we talk about him at the end of the year. We'll get to that. And I'll probably talk about him before then because he's definitely he's relevant to the theme that I want to touch on in the essay. You guys know about him? Phoenix Wolverine, old man Phoenix Wolverine from the far future. That's pretty cool. What is this a reference to? Clayton Crane doing that's a Captain America I believe reference. He's got the Canadian flag. I just noticed that. It's great. And X-Men. Yeah, so the thing about Phoenix, old man Phoenix Wolverine is at some point in the far future, with all of the contact that Wolverine has had with the Phoenix, he basically decides eventually to just take it on himself rather than whatever the other option was. And you know, he becomes a Phoenix. He first made an appearance in I think it was I think it might have been Wolverine and like the Infinity Watch story, right before in the Infinity Wars event a few years ago. Oh, right, that is it. That was fucking Death's Head. Holy shit, Death's Head 2, actually. Yes, that is Death's Head 2. Holy shit. Holy shit. You're right. And you're right too. That was Carnage USA, not Captain America. Thank you for the correction. Death's Head 2 is kind of an interesting character in my own personal comics experience because he's one of the before I really knew who any characters were, that I remember seeing that cover of Death's Head 2 #1, and it was just striking. And I love the design of that dude, Death's Head 2 specifically. Here, I'll pull up the one that one's referencing. Or no, maybe I don't. It might not be Death's Head 2, actually, because this is a different pose. It's not the same thing. It's a Larson cover, yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? It's fine. It allowed me to talk about Death's Head 2. I'm changing my plans. I'm doing the whole year about Death's Head 2, guys. Fuck that Wolverine shit that I was talking about. Death's Head 2 is where it's at. Now, Death's Head 2, as you can see, was from, I guess, a somewhat short-lived imprint, Marvel UK. Yeah, that was Amazing Spider-Man, where Venom has the Spider-Man skull. You're right. But yeah, just look at this guy. Look at him. Look at him. I love the idea that, like, on his first comic book cover, he was holding the head of the first version that he killed, which he does in the first issue. He kills the original. And then he goes around, like, teaming up with all kinds of Marvel characters in the 4 issues. It's kind of crazy. I actually have every issue. I bought those a few years ago just to say that I own them. Yep, he was a Transformer villain. He's one of the, which is maybe why he hasn't been used again. Has he? I wonder when the last time he showed up was. Not gonna be able to stay on too much longer just because my voice is crappy and it's starting to hurt a little bit. But we'll finish looking at these. Yep, Carnage USA, 100%. And that's pretty obvious. Actually, now that I think about it, is this X-Men or is this Avengers? Oh, it's X-Men. Yeah, because of the bazooka, which Angel and a bazooka, which is a weird choice. You could tell they hadn't figured out who those characters were. But yeah. What's up with this one? Kind of looks like Jack Black. I don't know. Well, there you go. Marvel surprises retailers with free Greg Capullo Wolverine variant. What was this? September 19th. Okay. So this is Greg Capullo, his first work back for Marvel. And I gotta be honest, I don't love it. I think it's kind of a weird pose. I don't understand the situation here. Like, I generally like his work. His run on Batman and stuff, obviously, is fucking great, but it's just a weird, not appealing cover to me. Speaking of weird and not appealing, you guys gonna unsubscribe if I tell you that I don't really love the Wolverine Quietly design? In fact, I don't really love Quietly's designs at all on that run. Yeah, I just don't. I don't love it. Like, he looks like a greaser guy or something. I don't know. So I've got like a couple of folders full, just chock fucking full of Wolverine stuff. But I'm gonna show you the first image of Wolverine that I ever really, maybe not the first one I saw, but the first one that like stuck with me, and like this is what set the tone for Wolverine, and not just him, but the X-Men for me. Whoops. You may have noticed that I have this hanging on the wall behind me. You can't see it right now, but normally you can see I have that poster. So this was my first real engagement with the X-Men at all. Was like this poster before I'd ever read any X-Men comics. I would, I don't know how I came across it, but I think I went to the comic store with my brother, my mom, and he was, he knew comics and stuff, but I was interested but didn't know shit. And so rather than buy a comic book, I think I got my mom to get me this poster, right? And so I had this poster, not knowing really anything about this shit. I just knew that I was interested and I was excited by it. And it's a weird roster to kind of like be your first experience. Like, who the hell is even is that? I think it's Psylocke, actually. I mean, this is Arthur Adams. He's got a very specific style. I think that his Wolverine is always kind of going to be like the Wolverine that's in my head is like a mashup of Art Adams, Jim Lee, and now modern Adam Kubert. Because Adam Kubert is somebody that I used to not like his art very much. I used to not like his Wolverine. But he's grown. He's gotten so fucking good. Now I love his Wolverine in recent years. And Joshua Cassara and stuff too. Yeah, British Psylocke. She's back to being British Psylocke, actually. Actually, she's not. She's British Captain Britain. The last time I saw her, she was. I don't know what's going on. Shadowcat. Yeah, you got Dazzler, Longshot, Storm, Colossus. Like, this poster was above my bed, and I would just like lay there and fucking stare at it, man. I swear, like I would just every line and stuff like that, just like holy shit. I don't know what it's about, but I love it. I knew that was Iceman. Because it's kind of obvious, Anyway, so that was a poster I had, and then I didn't have it for most of my life after that, and then I repurchased it a couple of years ago, and it's now framed, and I will try to own that as long as I live. See what else. Okay, so here is this is the Adam Kubert Wolverine that I now fucking love. Like, I think this is on par with that Art Adams, and you might notice the commonality between the two. Adam Kubert, this version, and then that Art Adams, their version of Wolverine he's a short, squat guy, fucking thick, just like a thick, not like fat, but like a thick fucker. And he's got a big head, and he's kind of like me and Dean have talked about this. Whether you like handsome or ugly Wolverine, I kind of like a bit of in between, So this is like he's kind of ugly and handsome at the same time. Let's look at some ugly and handsome Wolverines real quick, and we'll show you what I mean. Let's see. Okay, so this is a very ugly Wolverine right here. That's a fucking ugly Wolverine, man. So this was during the Get Mystique arc. Jason Aaron, I don't know who was drawing it. I don't remember, but man, he was ugly. He's ugly. And then you kind of go to the other end of the spectrum, right? And you can see like sometimes he's just drawn way too pretty. And I really haven't seen that lately at all in like the Krakoa era, but like things kind of got out of hand sometimes for a few years where Somebody would just draw him looking like a beautiful motherfucker. Let me find that. Man, where's it at? Yeah, I thought I had a really easily accessible one. Here we go. What is this about? And this isn't even like a manga or anything. Like, this is straight up just an X-Men book. Oh, you sent me a handsome one? Okay. Yep, that's the same one I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you. Like, what were they thinking with this one? Who is this? Honestly, this looks like this is like the influence of Hugh Jackman being cast as Wolverine, obviously, right? Like, once that happened, you know, that tends to happen with superheroes once they get a that's true. It does look like they were going for a young Clint. That's true. Yes, I actually have that. I didn't like it, to be honest. I have it. It's called Snit. And I just didn't see what the purpose of it was, honestly. Like, I didn't see why it was a Wolverine story because, like, it takes him completely out of familiar settings, puts him in the future, dealing with stuff that's not mutant related or anything, you know. So it's just like it's not any of his familiar characters, surrounding characters. Nothing is the same. It's just guy. It might as well just be a cyborg with claw hands, and it wouldn't have changed anything. This is, I believe this is Joshua Cassara, I think, and I like this design as well. Very, very good. Oh, I know probably like a really, really handsome one that I could show you is where's he at? Yeah, we'll get there. Or maybe I'll come across it in the looking for something else. But so this is the kind of moment that I'm talking about when I talk about Wolverine having grown and like his character has evolved. And remain that way. So this is a moment actually from an odd source. It's from AXE, Avengers, X-Men, Eternals. And so this is you know, so generally the plot of that, if you haven't read the Judgment Day thing, is Sentinel I mean, not Sentinel, fucking, man, my brain is a shit fire right now. Celestial has told Earth to justify its existence, basically. And, so it's all like it's going to judge them in 24 hours. And yeah. So then it starts judging every character that, you interact with and stuff. It's actually a really good event. It's probably the best crossover event in years. It's just so well done. I'd have to kind of analyze it to see what it is that makes it distinct like that it's actually a worthy crossover. Must be just the premise, but nonetheless, the premise allows it to do stuff that usually crossover events don't do well. Nonetheless, so the thing kind of judges Jean Grey a little bit harshly, kind of talks some shit, and Wolverine doesn't like it. And he tells her, a God who fails you and passes me, because it passed him. Ain't no God at all, Red. Anything it tells you is wrong. It's wrong about you, and you're wrong about you if you listen to a damn word it says. And she says, Logan, you're good to me. And he says, no, I know your head is all messed up. You know I'm good for nothing. I am no good for anything, Red. And he's smiling. Like, this is not only a growth in the dynamics of the characters between the two, but just it shows, I don't know. I just, it's just one of these moments that I'm going to touch on in the essay when I get to finishing it, that show a lot of growth. He's not just a guy that's been stagnant for 50 years in the comics. He's still, and what's amazing is that he still maintains the things about Wolverine that are fucking cool about Wolverine. He's still got that hard edge. He still will murder people who mess with mutants or his family and stuff like that. He will still do some X-Force shit, but he does it with, it's generally he's murdering with compassion. No. Well, I'm gonna stop talking about it right now because my head is so crappy that I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to make you think that my essay is going to sound anything like that, because it ain't. Oh, and then immediately after that, by the way, he just lunges at the Celestial and he's like, he says, okay, bub, put it like this. Someone like you doesn't get to judge someone like her, and then just launches at a Celestial. That's fucking Wolverine encapsulated right there. Like, perfection. And great art as well. I don't remember who this was, but it's really good. Hold on a second while I get Gordy and deal with his noisy ass. In the meantime, if you didn't see my farewell to the DCEU, here's that.
I will find him. I will find him, Mara.
So good.
I will find him!
Don't try to understand it, just feel it.
Martha! Martha! The product of my semen, my sons!
Anyway, that's as nonsensical as those moments that I highlighted in the movies. What a bunch of weird choices, by the way. Just some weird choices throughout that whole franchise. Like, what are you guys doing? Anyways. Gotta. I might have to do like one of the things I might do during 2024 is like a top 10 most Wolverine moments. You know, just like the most Wolverine that ever Wolverined, and this would be one of them, I think. Iceman sitting on the beach. Wow, must have been one hell of a night. Nope, just the usual. Fucking full arrows. That's a pretty good ugly Wolverine right there, actually. But he's also not too ugly, right? Like, he's not Frank Quietly ugly. Not calling Frank Quietly ugly. I don't know what he looks like, but yeah. So I guess I can kind of reveal the framing of what the essay is going to be like. And I might actually not do it in a full, like, one essay. I might do segments and show those on streams or something. This might be the best way for me to get it done. So I might do a segment and then like debut that on Initiative stream or on Friday streams or whatever. And then once I'm done with all the segments that I need, I will compile those into the video. But the framing device I was thinking about for my Wolverine essay is his lives and deaths. Mainly focusing on his deaths. And not just for morbid purposes, but because I think we can learn a lot about the character from his deaths. But one of his most awesome deaths, it's got to be this one. Spoiler for House of X Powers of 10. Where he died at the very beginning of it. Basically, it was like issue 3 or 4. You know, they send a team up to the mother mold to destroy it. It is orbiting the sun, and their goal is to drop that fucker down into the sun so that it can't make master molds or make more sentinels and make eventually Nimrod. And so here Wolverine, you know, they know they're about to die because what they're about to do here is teleport outside, you know, into space next to the sun, right? Like they're like a foot from the sun. And Wolverine's just going to start hacking away at the clamps that hold this thing up. And I think they have to do that because the initial plan was that they were going to try and get the clamps off, you know, release it before anybody noticed, but they didn't. So there's like it's locked down before they're able to get the last one. So Wolverine's like, well, all right, we got to go out and do it the old-fashioned way. And so they're going to die. And you know, he's asking Nightcrawler here. He's like, well, you know what does he say? He says, I got to ask, you still think there's anything waiting for us on the other side? And he's like, worried about your soul, Logan? He says, just wondering what someone like me should expect. And this is kind of a little bit of a head fake. Because it's, you know, if you don't know what's happened in this Krakoan era and everything yet at this point, which is the first time I read it, had no idea. It's making you think that they're talking about just dying. But with context of Krakoan resurrection, it means something else. So he says, when you wake from this earthly slumber, my friend, look for me. I'll be there waiting for you, radiant and with open arms. He didn't mean in heaven. He just meant in the fucking, you know, in the whole Krakoan, what do they call that? The cradle, right? Is that this cradle? So they teleport out there. And like instantly he's just disintegrating, you know, and he's got the healing factor. So he's able to like hold himself together better than basically anybody could. But he's still going to get disintegrated. Arbor Magna, thank you. And he just goes at it, man. He's just fucking going at it, destroying this piece of shit. And I just now noticed for the first time that it also tries to stop him. I didn't notice that these wires are kind of coming out and grabbing him until just now. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. Wow. That's pretty cool. But he gets it. And then him and that dumb head plunge into the sun. And that was the end of Wolverine forever. Yeah. But that's how that issue ended. And there was a week, a week's wait for the next one. And you're like, well, how the fuck? How are they going to kill? Because literally, like that, it seems like that in that issue, you've got Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Mystique. I think that's all of them, right? Anyway, they're all dead by the end of that issue. And that's like House of X number 3 or 4. Man, God, what a time to fucking be. I wish I could go back to that and experience that again. Honestly. Holy shit. Angel and Monet too? Yeah. But for a week, I'm just like, what are they going to do? Are they really relaunching the X-Men with this shit by killing off the most popular ones? Of course not. But it was a brilliantly executed moment. And then we'll look at one more death here, which is also a good one. He's got some good deaths, guys. This one, maybe it's his best one. Who knows? Who's to say? Except me. First of all, here's a fight with good old Sabretooth. Pretty good. Pretty good. Shunk. Fucking right through the brain pan. Yeah. What I love right here is you can see in each one of these that they've been wounded in the face and that they're healing. Claw by claw. That's fucking very cool. Love it. So if you haven't read The Death of Wolverine from like 2014 or 2015, it's pretty good. He goes out like a champ. And I'm not going to spoil too much, just because it kind of would spoil the whole purpose of the video that I'm doing. But like, there's something in common with every time that he's died. And that's the thing that I want to zero in on. There's a cover. He doesn't actually get carried by the embodiment of death or anything. But here's the guy that made him. Here's the guy that was heading up Weapon X, that gave him the adamantium in the first place. And at this point, Wolverine has just... Man, if you haven't read it, you should read it. It's good. But he has just stopped a bunch of adamantium from being injected into a whole bunch of people that are like laying there. They've been kidnapped or whatever by this guy. And he's trying to make new Wolverines. He can't ever get it right. And every time he tries, he fucks it up, or they fail or whatever. And the reason is because none of them have the healing factor that Wolverine has. He either doesn't know or doesn't care about that. I forget. So he's just grabbed a bunch of people, and he's trying to do the same thing to them that he did to Logan. They're going to die. Like all these people that are just like innocent victims of this fucking guy. They're all going to die, all because he's trying to create a new Wolverine and new Weapon X. And Logan ain't having that. So right at the last minute, he basically, there's the only thing that he has that he can do before the adamantium is injected into their bodies is to just cut open the adamantium tank. The tank with the liquid fucking molten adamantium in it. And it ends up all over him. Like, it just spills out and covers Wolverine. Which, of course, if you remember the X-Men 2 line, you have to once you get it hot, you got to keep it that way. Because once it cools, And that's what happens. He's just covered in liquid, drying adamantium, cooling adamantium. And and the guy had asked him, he's like, what did you ever do but kill people? What did you ever do? And he just has a quick moment of thinking back. What did he ever do besides kill people? Enough. Yep. He did, didn't he? He did enough. So we're gonna look at those kind of moments, which I just fucking live for, man. Honestly, that's my favorite kind of shit right there. Finality. And once again, Wolverine died and was never heard from again. We'll also go into all of the variants, all of the legacies, the variants, the knockoffs, the tokens. No. Each one of these is pretty awesome in their own way. Is y'all still there? Chat slowed down. Did I just bore the shit out of everybody? What's going on? Anybody that's been reading X-Men? Me too, man. Me too. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy fucking New Year. It is gonna be fun. Anybody that's been reading X-Men and about the whole Wolverine, as in Laura Wolverine, and then Talon situation. Talon, Wolverine. They both exist now. You want to know why I think they did that? With my theory? So that they can have their kind of like mature version of X-23, Wolverine rather, of Lady Wolverine, and then their kind of family-friendly version as well. Their X-Men version. And then their triple X-Men version. You know what I'm saying? So like Talon is the one that's probably generally going to have the more hardcore stuff happen, I guess. I don't know. It's unclear. But I think that's why they basically wrote themselves an option so they can use her however they want, and it'll still be grounded in canon. Does that make sense? Because, of course, Disney wants the girl Wolverine to be popular with, like, girls. Of course. Right? But they don't want to completely, declaw her, so to speak. But they might, they might declaw her whenever she is Wolverine and then let her cut loose when she's Talon. All I know for sure is we better get Honey Badger. We got to get Honey Badger. Need that shit. Well, yeah, I'm sure they're going to not do that in the movies and stuff. That's true. She's called Scout now. Thank you, Greg. That's true. But Honey Badger's, it's fucking catchy, man. No. If Wolverine, if Logan is not played by a short king, we right. There's no reason, I think Hugh Jackman was a fantastic version of Wolverine, and generally, those movies did better with Wolverine than anything else they did, except for maybe Magneto and Professor X here and there. But like Wolverine, they knew what they were doing for the most part with Wolverine. But the one thing that obviously stands out is here, I'll show you where it bothers me. You know what? Just generally, it's just that he's too tall. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just. I agree, man. I'm 5'6". I'm hairy. I'm angry. You know, it's time to see. I want to see myself represented on screen. I'm not Canadian, but you know. No, come on now. Don't you know, knock that fucking negativity off. They don't need sex appeal because in the MCU, there's all kinds of sex appeal. They can afford to spare Wolverine. Being like, he doesn't need to be. That's too tall. That is too tall. Too fucking tall. I'm sorry. It's just too tall. Even just in the X-Men, they can have sex appeal in several other characters. And then also, you're what you're doing is heightism. Okay? I don't appreciate heightism. Is that a thing? I'm saying it's a thing now. You're doing heightism, which is that you're suggesting that short people can't have sex appeal. And I just think that that's actually really fucked up. Daniel Radcliffe is 5'5". And he's kind of jacked now, too. But yeah. I mean, in the comics, he's like 5'4", Wolverine. I'm pretty sure. I would take 5'7", right? 5'7". 5'5". I would even take like a 5'10" actor if they made sure to shoot it in a way that made him look a little bit shorter. No, they ain't making Wolverine the center. If they do that, I think that's a mistake. I think that they don't need to focus so much on Wolverine. I think that and I think that you're actually wrong. I think that they are going to, like, that Kevin Feige understands that the X-Men is so much more than fucking Wolverine. And you're just, you know, like, you're speculating. I get it, but like, there is so much more than Wolverine. I think that focusing on Wolverine, especially starting out, would be the biggest mistake they could make. And that's somebody who, as you can tell, I love Wolverine. I also love the X-Men. And I know the X-Men are just so much more than that. It's the biggest frustration about the Foxmen movies. That maybe not. I mean, I definitely think he needs to get more exploration than Drax got, but you know, at least if you're going to use him a lot, bring him in slowly. Like the first X-Men movie, no Wolverine until maybe the post-credit scene. Holy shit, what kind of post-credit scene? That would be like the best thing since Thanos, right? In the post-credits. Where you just hear snit, and yeah. It would take balls, and I think they got the balls. I think they know they have so much more. And for another thing is, like, they probably feel like they're gonna want to distinguish themselves from the Foxmen. I'm pretty sure. For a while, I had a hope that they were going to do Krakoan stuff in the MCU. I don't think they're probably going to do that, but they're going to look for a lot of ways to, distinguish themselves. I'm excited for all of it. I hope it's all going to be good. That's the reason why we're doing this this year of the bub here. Because for anyone that's not familiar with all the stuff that's going to come out this year, it's quite a bit. Quite a bit of things and stuffs. Yeah, get to it here. Okay, so on the docket, we've got X-Men, the comic. There we go. Was it a mistake? Do you mean the movie? The movie absolutely wasn't a fucking mistake. Yeah. The big mistake. A lot of mistakes in that movie. If you're saying was revealing his origin in the comic books a mistake? No, absolutely not. I think it's the best thing that could have happened to him. Happy New Year, McLeod. No. I will fucking fight and die on the hill of the comic book origin being, even if you don't love the way that that story itself played out, revealing his origin was a fucking smart and ballsy move that Joe Quesada decided to do. You can only go so far with a character being interesting when his origins are all shrouded in mystery or whatever. Look at Gambit. Like he was kind of the same thing for a while and then it just got old. Why? Because now you've got, you know what? I don't have the voice to explain it, but it will be. That's literally the focus of my essay that I'm working on. That'll be out sometime soonish. So just look for that, and I will make that case in there. But essentially, it boils down to it allowed for so much more character development and so much more lore to be explored and established. And it allowed, the growth that I've been talking about that Wolverine has had as a character would not have been possible without the choice to reveal his origins and where he comes from and all that stuff. It just wouldn't have been possible. And then, that choice as far as like revealing it to the audience, but even for a few years after that, he didn't know his history still. But then after House of M, he remembered everything. So like he remembered everything in the House of M once Wanda made that happen, and then whenever they made it go back, he still remembered everything. He learned a lot of stuff during the assault on Weapon Plus, Grant Morrison arc in New X-Men, but still. Yeah, I remember it being a big deal, and a lot of people were like, "Why? They're ruining the character." And it's like, man, if your character is defined by not knowing much about him, that kind of sucks. Like it worked for a couple of decades, but it was time, and a salute to Joe Quesada for that, and then fuck Joe Quesada for doing one more day. So it's kind of like he evens out there. Gordy, stop doing that. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Cat scratching on the door. He's got cat scratch fever. All right. We're about to hit 2 hours, so we'll call it a night there. And, Happy New Year to anybody that hasn't made it or has made it or whatever. It's Happy New Year, guys. Tell me, real quick before we go, just tell me what you're looking forward to in 2024, whether it's movies, comics, something in life, something like that. I kind of want to get an idea what you guys are thinking. Oh, I was going to show you a little something, by the way. Going to give you a little teaser here. This is initiative stuff. So, same. Wait, you're seeing Primus, Pussifer, and A Perfect Circle at the same concert? Are you fucking kidding me? No, that's not happening. You're lying to me. Gordy, stop it. That's crazy, dude. Where? When? Holy shit. yeah, I'm also getting caught up, and what I'm going to start doing in can't think about the concert right now. So what I'm going to start doing is covering probably going to cover a good bit of Wolverine's history throughout the year. Just like I haven't read probably even half of the Claremont run. So I'm going to read that shit. I haven't read most of Wolverine's solo series, the long running one. Stuff like that. I'm going to cover it. And let me show you one more cover of a comic that I want to talk about at some point. Gordy is he's a pet and a child, but yeah, he's a cat. Maybe I'll do this one soon, just so I can give you guys an idea of what kind of content I'll be doing. But like, maybe a short video would be good for this, probably. So, Wolverine number 59, 1992. I've got an ugly Wolverine here, by the way. This is back whenever his claws still came out of the backs of his hands. You notice his hair looks a little different there, right? He looks kind of unique. So this is the issue that I read pretty early on in my comic book life that gave me an idea of what his healing factor was like. So at the beginning of the issue, he kind of gets blown up, meaning all of his hair gets blown off. You know, flesh too, but like his hair. And then the rest of the issue takes place kind of in real time, almost like where he's like he gets some clothes and he's like going to chase down a thing or whatever. And it's like you basically see that page by page, panel by panel, his hair is growing longer and longer. And I just remember thinking, that's fucking cool. Now, that does raise the question of like, why does his hair eventually stop growing? Wouldn't his hair constantly be growing? Wouldn't it just be, we'd have to cut it? Well, you know, don't ask those questions, okay? We don't ask those. But nonetheless, yeah. And this is back when Wolverine was so popular. They were making 2 issues a month. Like, what the fuck? That's how good comics were doing in the early 90s. You imagine anything being every 2 weeks now? Crazy. Okay, but I did want to show you guys an initiative thing. Just a sneak peek of, I don't know. You know, I'm reworking the intro for the initiative showcast. We got some cool stuff planned for that, by the way. Gordy, you got to stop, dude. Stop scratching on the door. Stop it. Stop it. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Do you want to say hi to people? Come here. Come here. What up, DJ? I was just about to show a sneak peek of the new initiative showcast intro that'll be, I think, this week. Whenever we come back, if we're coming back this week, it should be ready by then for sure.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it.
Other people besides white dudes like Star Wars. I'm just saying, we need to be conscious of our bias.
We talked about this one thing and we make a whole video out of it. That's what we do.
Yeah, still just getting it. It's not even close to done, but there you go. We'll talk about the reason why I'm changing it as well. Maybe this week. It depends on if everybody's back. If Turf is back, if DJ's around and stuff, then we will talk about it, I think. But like, Bounding into Comics is trying to steal our fucking style, man. Bounding into Comics. If you have a chance, go check out their stream, any of their streams on their YouTube channel, and look at the first. You know what? Let's just look at one. Let's fucking look at this. Holy shit! I get mad. And this will be the last thing we do before we venture off into 2024. So, Bounding into Comics has definitely been watching our shit. Yeah, I kind of want to take credit for partial credit for, you know, forcing them to have to kind of like go back in the closet with their open fucking, you know, vile bigotry the way that they were doing. Maybe because they recognized that if they didn't kind of clean up their act because they were being sold, that folks like us, you know, would have contacted the people that own them now and been like, hey, you should look into this stuff. Because I definitely would have done that. I definitely would. I don't want to speak for the initiative, but I'd fucking do that shit. I don't give a shit. Fuck these guys. Let's see. Gordy, dude, you got to stop, bro. Okay. So I want you guys to tell me if any of this seems a little familiar at all. Hold on a second. Okay, not this stream. So they must have, I don't know if they've changed it since then or what, but I know it was there. Let's see if this is it. Man, where are they? Okay, I'm gonna find it. God damn it, I'm gonna find it before Wednesday. But yeah, they totally fucking have been aping the style of my intros for the initiative streams. I mean, like it's pretty obvious. So I guess you're welcome, bounding into comics. Too bad you don't have any fucking originality in your fucking bodies. But I mean, that's the idea, right? Like, hopefully so. Hopefully Deadpool 3 sells some comics. Hopefully the cartoon sells some comics. Gordy, if you're gonna be so loud, come over here and say it in the microphone. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on, bud. Come on. Come here. Come on. Ah. All right. I got Mr. Gordy here. You can't see him, but he's here. Ow, ow, ow. You are so fucking clawy. Okay. I mean, that's going to be pretty fun, right? Like, how are they going to cope? How are they going to spin things, right? Because they do be spinning it. But also, maybe you're just a foolish detractor.
The foolish detractor can't stop.
Fucking Christ, Gordy. This cat really bothers me whenever I'm streaming and he wants to go in and out and in and out. Yeah, they don't know. They don't know how to do shit.
Y'all really bought that shit butt ass comic book. I'm crying.
Anyway, yeah. By the way, once again, be here later today because it is now, the 1st. Happy New Year. We're gonna do a Fapcast this afternoon, evening, 4 p.m. Pacific. I guess at 7 p.m. Eastern. Morgan and I will be talking about the Y2K panic. Some of you might not have been around for that. Some of you definitely were. Was it legit? Was there any legitimacy to it at all? Was it just a bunch of people freaking out over not understanding how computers work? Yes, yes, and yes. And we'll talk about that, as well as start our first episode on the journey of Wolverine's canonical and publication history. Good times. I mean, they dropped with each issue that came out. They lost, like, the first issue came out, right? Okay, fucking great, good, big success, man. But the second issue came out, they had half of the purchasers, just cut in half. Then on to the Albacore book, half of that bought Albacore book. It's obviously not a sustainable business model. It's obviously just a fucking a joke. But at the same time, maybe we should give them a chance. Also,
was it liberating or was it super liberating for you to say the N-word?
Oh, he'll never stop me from killing Chinese people.
This film you're clapping at like a fucking retard.
They are trying to normalize stuff to influence kids.
It's already started. Oh my God,
Jesus.
sorry.
So you can fucking current day it.
That's for my Fridays. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. First, I do want to play this thing. Here at AF, we work hard to make sure we've got the facts to back up every accusation of chuddery, that we're entertaining every time we spotlight some fascistic film fandom flimflamer, culture vulture, Star Wars swindler, or comics conman. And by we, I mean me. And while I'm certainly not doing it for money, I do need to buy a new PC soon for continued editing and streaming. That's why I want to express my deep gratitude to my support on Patreon from dopest members like William, Michael, and Smirking Gun. That's not to say that the members at the chillest and basest tiers are any less appreciated. But even if you can't swing it, you can follow me for free on Patreon and still get some exclusive content and opportunities to chat directly with me. YouTube makes us give every ounce of ourselves. Sometimes it feels like we're being milked dry. Support at any level is hits. Yeah, but it is time to go. One last message I'd like to say, though. Look, here's the thing.
It's the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. It's clobbering time.
I appreciate all of you, sincerely. My brain is a fucking mess right now, but I appreciate you more than I can really fully express. Especially if my voice is going to go out. Those of you who watch regularly, those of you who comment regularly, those of you who support the channel, those of you that don't, but which, by the way, you can follow me on Patreon for free, and still get some access to stuff over there that you wouldn't get elsewhere. And if you do support the channel, you can do that for $3 a month, which shit is appreciated, man. Any amount is appreciated. Because like the thing says, I do have to get a new PC before long. This one's starting to cause some problems. Nonetheless, I value you all and wish that I could all, shake your hands and tell you all hi and stuff like that and develop a very parasocial relationship with you. No, I'm kidding. But I appreciate you. It's meant a lot to me that, my decision to make this channel happen over 4 years ago now. It was a big decision in my life. It's not something I'd ever done. It's not something I didn't know if it'd be good at it or what. Still don't know if I'm good at it. But I've managed to make some people happy with it, and made some people feel seen, given a voice that they maybe didn't have. And I take that seriously. I take a lot of pride in that. And look forward to 2024, where we're going to be doing it all even harder. We're going into Berserker mode. The initiative, we've got some ideas. We'll see what happens there. with our plan of attack, so to speak. And then just here on this channel and then the Fabcast and stuff. It's all going to continue on as it has with, maybe variations and stuff like that. But you guys are the reasons that I do it, man. Like those of you who comment and express your support and stuff like that, that is what keeps me going. You might have noticed my channel hasn't been monetized in over a year. I'm working on that. It's really my own fault. It's still not at this point because I just haven't prioritized getting it done. So it's not money. It's not clout, because this is not the most popular thing to do on YouTube. I get more clout if I did the opposite of what I do. So I do it for those of you who know that that these people are exploiting comic books and movies and stuff like that. They're exploiting the things that we care about. And they're exploiting people, and they're harming people with their rhetoric and stuff like that. And that's the shit that keeps me going. But like, that shit is dark. That shit, if it was just that, I would not be able to go as much as I do. I wouldn't still be doing it because I would be too wrapped up in the fucking darkness of it. You guys are the light in it. And, I appreciate you very much. The friends that I've made, because it was about the friends you made along the way and whatnot. But with that said, fucking,
This is getting stupid.
But also, get out of here. And yeah. You know what? Let's start the new year off with some drums, with a drum solo. How about that? And then we'll do the prayer. But as of now, I'm gonna be wish you well, Happy New Year, love you, but not in a parasocial way, not in any kind of real way, just in a vague general sense of like how a YouTuber could love an amorphous group of no-faced people. I love you that way. Have a wonderful year, and look forward to seeing you back here later today for the Fabcast.
Let's check out the quote tweets. Y'all really bought that shit butt ass comic book. I'm crying. It's crazy people think this guy is anything but a libertarian scam artist. This is some of the worst paneling and framing I've ever seen. They break the 180-degree rule twice on the same page. How do you pull that off? The 180-degree rule states that you keep the camera on one side of the characters. Imagine a line through the center of the characters and do not cross the line. The 180-degree rule is meant to help viewers understand where things are in the scene. They trying hard to defend this, talking about, bro, it's a perspective switch. Crazy how the guy that's only known for being a racist pick-me and complaining about woke Marvel and DC probably made the worst indie comic of all time. Y'all donated money to the guy that can't even choreograph a fight scene well in a comic book. Missing a whole ass clash panel. Character positions are inconsistent, which interrupts panel flow. No sense of movement, and everything looks still. Remember, this guy was going off on how crap other artists were, from people in the major leagues to small indie artists, and flaunting that he was going to be the next big thing. Alan Moore was right. If you want to get good at comics, you just have to find the most dog-shit comics you can get hands on. This feels like a fake comic you would see a kid read in some low-budget Hallmark movie. At least I'll always be a better comic creator than these idiots. This was the comic that was going to destroy DC and Marvel, by the way. I know some 10-year-olds who can make better paneling than this shit. So glad Isom sucks donkey balls so I can make fun of it. You want me to show y'all how to make one correctly? Not surprised they keep complaining about comics are dead when the story and art they writing feels generic and lacking in choreography. Eric needs to improve sooner. Otherwise, it'd be a fever dream to have long-term success. This is still the best worst fight scene in comic history. He has to talk shit on everyone else in order to try and build himself up, because he knows deep down he's a talentless hack. None of these grifters are any good. All their creative endeavors fall flat on their face and are
May Bill Gaines shine his heavenly light upon you and impregnate you with many happy days and joy fetuses. May your anuses be cleansed by the purifying light that exudes from Bill Gaines' eternal dragon phallus. Should you meet your mortal demise this day, go with comfort that you have satisfied the commands of the one true Bill, those being this: read comic books. Fuck the dumb shit. Be yourself. Love each other. Also, read more comics and grow your hair out all goddamn wild. Amen.
Actual fandom is not going to stop.
The Rippaverse isn't fucking going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I just fucking relaunched. For canon's sake, I'm not playing around. Get over it. Like my haters, man. I need there. But these guys are so fucking invested in my failure, right? Got these gay ass dudes. These guys are 40 and 50 years old doing nonstop damn videos about me. And I'm like, bro, get a grip. A lot of y'all got family. You got women that you're supposed to be tending to, and you worried about me and what it is that I got going because you're so banking on my failure. It's like, bro, the most mild thing, I've said this before, guys, the thing that I've done that's been the most mild thing, the least political thing that I've done, the least controversial thing that I've done, or should have been, was launch a fucking comic book company. Who would have thought? Who would have fucking thought me launching a comic book company? Fucking mad. Of all things, not my hot take on social issues or the political landscape. No, me starting a comic book was what did it for him. That's what did it for him. And you got these motherfuckers like in their greasy, dirty ass fucking... You got mental issues that you need to sort out with your fucking therapist, man. You got motherfuckers, friends, I'll use that term loosely, turn to fucking foes. You got you got haters. They're going doing some extra shit, right? Going out of way, and that's the sad thing. These guys are fucking 40 and 50 years old, acting like bitches. At least with like Nerdette, she's a woman. I expect it from that dumb heifer. She's a broad. That's what they fucking do. They get emotional.